G'day guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're on the HMV Consort. There's a little bit of discrepancy about the name, but we're going with Consort. It's the one with the car antenna, and we've found out that there is other radios very similar to this one, with leather cases, so forth. This one's a plastic one, as you know if you've seen the video before this one. So today, capacitors, we're taking this, taking it apart. We're putting the tuning gang in the ultrasonic machine just to clean it up. It's very oily, greasy inside, so needs a bit of polish up, and of course polish the front and yeah, do some nice cleaning up. A little bit of a dent there, so we've got to work out it as well. Okay, hope you join me. Let's get into it. Righto guys, well, we're up for pulling this apart, just seeing what's what with it. So what's holding this circuit board in? We have an orange wire here which goes up to the tone control. So yeah, probably pay to get it, release it. What else have we got here? We've got the rod, which I'd like to sort of get off. Now, this end is no problems. Here we've got two ends of the coil and this coil here. So we go in here. I'm just sort of having a look. We'll probably leave the antenna connected to the board. I've got to release this fella. So let's get into this. Now that's just a ground strap. This one here would be aerial trimmer, I suppose. I haven't got the circuit in front of me. I've never got the circuit in front of me. But anyway, we're getting this apart to recap. This is not a terribly big job. So we'll just release him. We've got a brown wire here which goes up to the oscillator. So, okay, so it looks like our oscillator coil on this one is right here. No, that's him in there. Okay, that's our oscillator coil. So he goes over to here. A little bit hard to get to tune this thing because there's no hole in the bottom. Well, I don't think there is. Yeah. Anyway, I'll release some wires here, and we'll have a look at the board, and we'll do a recap, and then we'll move on to the rest of it. Okay. Well, I've decided to take the aerial rod off. This end of him just goes to the trimmer cap, and now I'm making video notes for myself, but you might be doing one of these as well. Okay, so that fella goes there. The other end of this coil goes down here to ground on the tuning cap. That's it. And then there's these two wires. I've taken a picture of these, which is the small loop up here, and I'll just drop them out here. So yeah, this side wire on closest to the coil goes to the bottom of the circuit board. So bottom part. Okay, so, and this one's the next one up. That's an antenna trimmer right there. And I think that, and the brown wire here, well, that's our oscillator in the center, on the center conductor. And then that gets, well, certainly the rod off, and I think everything disconnected from the board so that we can get it out. We're going to strip everything off this to clean it up. So yeah, okay, that's where I'm up to. Okay, guys, well, I'll have a little bit of a look at this fella. Okay, so up this end, this is your RF, obviously oscillator coil here, aerial coil. I haven't got the circuit. I have transformers, I think. I'll have to. I don't remember everything about these. I used to service them, but I really can't remember 50 years ago. So it happens when you get old. Blue caps, that's a 160 mic. Of course, we'll get a circuit for, well, I've got a circuit here, but I'll grab it shortly. I don't know what that fella is. Probably about a 47 or something like that. He's spewing out the side of him. This fella's the same. This is a 100 mic at 12 volts, and as you can see, he's losing the end. All looks pretty good, really. This fella here, well, yeah, he'll be changed anyway, but he doesn't look that bad, but he probably is. This little fella here, yeah, he will certainly be changed. So don't know what it is. Probably a 6 or a 4 microfarad or something along those lines. Obviously, detector diodes or whatever we've got there. I'll have to grab the circuit because I'm leading you astray. Obviously biasing for the output transistors, and yeah, that's sort of what we've got. So it makes it nice and easy to work on. Was a bit silly unsoldering all this other stuff when we didn't have to. So actually, this board came out reasonably easy. Now there's a couple of little polys or something there. Those little fellas that they never give problems. The disc, ceramic discs, I'm pretty sure all those will be okay. Of course, we'll run over the resistors just to see if anything is out of spec, which it's very possible with these, although most of them, except one up here, these like taking in moisture, but most of the other square-ended resistors are okay. It's just the little roundies that we have problems with. Well, here in Australia anyway. Okay, so there he is, back on the board. Well, you've already seen it, but looks fairly neat. And this actually has a part number on it, which is that, if you're interested. I can't actually read it. I can see it in the monitor, but I can't actually read it. And obviously there's a serial number there. So, yeah. Okay, so caps there. So I'm going to start this very shortly. And also I'll be removing this assembly, which comes out as a whole assembly. This fella is going in the ultrasonic machine. Unfortunately, we're going to have to remove the dial cord or remove the drum. I'll try and keep the dial cord roughly intact, although there's a lot of rubbish in here to clean up. Some rusty bits in here that I probably will do something with. So yeah, and of course remove the speaker and see, because eventually we've got to get to the front here and of course in behind the dial. Okay, so so I know what's ahead of me. I might keep doing this and then we'll come back and do the caps on this, because I want to see what's in under here, what I need to do. This is it's pretty well a restoration, but it's just to make it all pretty again and bring it back to life so that I can sit him on the shelf or someone else's shelf and be proud of the performance this thing was designed for. Okay, let's see what the speaker looks like. Wow. Brand new? Yeah. Wow. That is very nice. Okay, there's some details for you. Okay, it's a 30 ohm speaker and obviously a 7x4. That's a decent sized speaker for a portable radio, isn't it? We don't see these now. Okay, speaker, 100%. Looks great. We know it works. We've had it running. Now, there's a little bracket here that holds the speaker, but he doesn't want to come up. That's okay. So what else holds this in position? This. Okay. Okay, here we go. Just a spacer. And how do we go now? Okay. Things are moving. Whole assembly's coming out in one hit. Well, I think it is. What's something's grabbing in here. Okay, we'll remove our dial perspex off the front, and what's holding us? There's nothing on the front there. I think we're getting there. I think it's just a matter of persevering. I think. That little clamp there underneath that grommet was holding him. There we go. Now this makes things slightly easier. That's our dial assembly, the whole lot. Looks pretty neat. And I don't know whether to, yeah, I'll have to take this out. I really don't want to undo this dial cord, but there's rubbish in here, that there's oil and stuff. Someone's probably oiled this to make it run freer, or I don't know what they've done. Just put some light there so you can see it. Back there. These are fairly tight, so may not have been moved. Yeah, it's really got to come out. We need to clean all this up. But it just runs so nicely, doesn't it? And it just would save me so much grief. Anyway, it's not too bad. It's only a run up here and back. And, well, there is a diagram in the service notes. So, yeah, I think I really want to put this in the machine, in the ultrasonic, and clean it up. It's oily and horrible, but the dial looks good. Boy, that looks really nice. Bits and pieces in there. Okay, I'll get this apart. We've also got to work out what's happening here. Now, I don't think I'll be able to take this off because there's nuts and screws that go from the front. That way I'd have to lift the dial, and that's pretty well glued on. So I'm just going to leave that fella there. I'll probably take this one off and clean around it. And of course, it'd be good not having the dial cord in amongst this when I'm cleaning. Okay, so that's that. Yes, we've got to do the dial glass or perspex as it is. That will clean up nice. And I think this come off one of our, yes, one of our grommets on here. Okay, one of the mounting grommets. Okay, so that's that one. This bit, well, what we've got to fix is here, which is in around in here. Now, what I'm going to have to do here is just straighten these little tabs out, and the front should pop off. Should pop off. Okay, otherwise, the rest of this, there's not much more to be done. It is in really, really good order. A little bit down here that's got to be just gently heated and glued down. Bit of cleaning. Don't know how that's going to come up yet, but it shouldn't be too bad. And a little bit of trimming up on the name badge. His master's voice there. And yeah, that should be good. All right, guys. I'm going to start on this. Just get this apart and start cleaning this, and then I'm straight into doing the caps. Okay, so that's where I'm starting. That's a very neat little mechanism. I was wondering what this plate was here for, actually. Not being able to see this, but yeah, very ingenious. Anyway, if I can keep the dial cord sort of on the drum in that position, but we do have to get the assembly off. So the trimmer's got to be unsoldered. Our cap here has to be unsoldered. This is our oscillator trimmer. There's a ground wire here that has to be removed. And of course, these grommets will be replaced. And what else have we got here? We're right up the top, but I'll take these off anyway. I'll mark them and take them off without trying not to move them. So when we put it back, it'll be close on what it was. Yeah, I've got to get this assembly off the bottom of the tuning gang to get the wheel off, because otherwise, yeah, it's in the center of the two discs. So this has to be dropped down. Okay, I'll get these out without the soldering on burning the dial cord. Dial cords, as you know, are one of my pet hates. Well, probably everyone's. Now it's just a matter of getting some heat into this fella to try and get him off. There we go. And the same with this. Right. Remove him, and I'll mark these once I've got them off. This will take a bit of heat because this is on the case itself, but I don't want the trimmer in. I suppose it could go in the. Yeah, I don't know whether it hurts them or not in the ultrasonic. I haven't done that before, but I'm guessing that could probably stay there. Okay, what we're going to do, just take some video notes here as to where it is from the top. It's almost out at the top. And let's unscrew him. There he is. It's our trimmer capacitor. And yeah, I think I'll leave the top off and put him in the ultrasonic. I don't think there'll be any problems there. Haven't done that before. There's always a first time. And you guys will obviously let me know if it's the wrong thing to do. Because years back, we didn't pull these off. Didn't have to do anything with them. Okay, so this is the oscillator trimmer. It's one of these where the wire actually wraps around a former, and you've got a little coil of wire there. And if you want to alter the length, well, there's the end of him there. You can push him down or pull him up or extend him or whatever you want to do to alter the capacitance of this little fella. But we're not touching that because they're a pain, and odds are it's spot on. What can go wrong with it? Not very much. Okay, now we've got to get the bottom off. So we'll get these little spaces out. There we go. Hope you guys are keeping tabs of where everything goes. I think we'll be right. I've had a lot worse than this. Okay. Let's get the bottom off. The mounting plate, which is fairly clean. I don't think it needs to go anywhere, although it might. 3 screws. Okay, now, there we go. It's snapped out of the disc. And just pull him out there. And we have one little ground wire here. We're releasing from this side because it's heats easier. Okay. There we go. Now on this base, this is our tuning spindle. It's very free, but obviously we'll just clean all this up. I suppose we could put this in the ultrasonic. I'll take these little grommets out. I don't know whether these, actually they're quite soft. They don't want to come out. They're quite soft. No, he's cracked. So yeah, he's starting to crack up. So we'll replace these for sure. And we will put this base in the ultrasonic machine. Okay, that can just go in as is. We'll take our drum off, and our dial cord is still on the drum. But yeah, there's our actual tuning and the actual, yeah, geez, they're tight. I suppose they've got to be, but yeah, two pieces of pressed metal together, and yeah, that's how it runs. Okay, yeah, we'll take the plastic off. It needs to come off. Okay. Right. So if we're looking at it like so, that's how they go. And obviously that's the holder for the rod antenna. Right, we'll clean him up separate. And this whole thing can go in the ultrasonic. It is a bit dryish and, yeah, gravelly. Yeah. So we'll open him up like so. So we've got that. What else can go in? Nothing at the moment, I don't think. So let's have a look at just what I do with that, and we'll come back here. Hello guys, I'm outside. That's the machine. We've got 10 litres of water in this. This is a 10 litre unit. A little bit of Palmolive dishwashing liquid. Just a smidgen in there to move things around, especially when it's oily. We've got our parts in here, so just position them in however you want. Drop them in. Okay, so around the front, move yours around here, about there, and we turn it on. The back. Okay. Temperature. Well, we've got the temperature set at 50. It's actual 26 at the moment. We're going to run it a couple of times with this. So we're going to put the heat on so it will gently heat. And now we press our time. Now that's on 5 minutes. I want to go 20 minutes on this. So, and press start. Now I'll bring this in and show you in the top here when I press start. Okay, so we're just about to press start. Here we go. Right guys, now it's just stopped after its first run. Now we're up to 50 degrees in there. Water's pretty hot.
So let's give it, what are we going for? Probably another 20 minutes, eh? So we'll do that. Okay, that's it. Another 20 minutes passed. Let's have a look at these fellas. They look pretty shiny. Now, might have to move yours a bit. Okay. And yeah, that looks pretty good. Nice and clean. Fair bit different. This fella, yeah, well, excellent. Just a little bit of cleaning up there with a Q-tip or cotton bud, whatever you want to call it, and my little pulleys. Yep, both those running fine. So okay, we'll clean this all this up. We'll heat it with a heat gun, make sure that everything is totally dry, and we'll get on with recapping.
Righto guys, well we've cleaned up the egg slicer a little bit, so now it's getting into the front panel here, the grill. Now what I've got here is a knife, which I've got to think before I start the camera, and I'm just straightening these out. So yeah, I'll I'll straighten these out. Bear with me, guys. I'm tired today. It's Monday, and yeah, just a little bit on the tired side. Okay, well, just straighten all these out. Just be careful when you're doing them because they're pretty easily broken. They're sort of only good for one bend, maybe two bends, hopefully. And any more than that, there's a real problem. They'll just break off. But saying that, you can put a little bit of glue underneath it and glue the grill down to the front panel. But I'd rather not do that if we can get away from that. Okay. Here we go. I think that's it. Okay, gently push him out. Go. He's coming out. Just lift him gently. There we go. Okay, this will enable us to do what we've got to do. And behind here now, is this glued or not? This one is roughly glued, but only very, very light glue, which is good. Now the grill is very dirty. We'll maybe gently wash this. It'll be very gentle, but it is all in one piece, and maybe just a little bit of warm water and yeah, brush him off, but don't put it in the washing machine. Okay, here's our problem here. As you can see, a little bit of a raised point where that is, and we also have a little dent just over there. It's only very slight, you probably can't see it there, but it's just there. Yeah, very hard to see on the camera, but anyway, I'll go now and try and, oh gee, I don't know how we're going to do this because it has been hit and damaged, but if we can just get it back flat, will be right. This one's no problem. That will push out, no worries. Just there. Okay, now the rest of this, well, pretty easy to clean up now. And our badge has been, yeah, he's been pressed on there, so not doing much with that. We're just going to clean this the best we can. It does need a little bit of maybe super glue running along the edge and pressing down, and a slight amount of heat under the vinyl here. So I don't want to take the badge off. It's in position. Another thing that I want to do is take a picture of this and get this ready to resurrect, so we can put it in our editing program and have this in other radios when we need it, the ones that use a 276p. This is a fairly common logo or sticker, whatever you want to call it. So I want a picture of him before we go any further with this. And then it's just a matter of polishing, cleaning up. Okay, I'll be back soon. We're going to do a little bit of the polishing. We'll do this. We'll clean this, our thing, and well, what we're up to now is I'm going to replace the caps and check the transistors. You guys have all seen me replace caps before, and other people. So all we've got to do is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 electrodes there. There is no waxage in this, and then I'll be going through and checking each resistors. So I'll let you know how I go, and we'll mark them on the circuit, and I'll show you where the caps are that I replaced, where these 5 are, and we'll come back. We also need to clean the pot for our quiescent current setting. So we'll also use a bit of spray in him, and that's about it for this. So of course it's clean, the switch and the pot, and that's about it for that one. So this should be a pretty straightforward job. We'll try and get it done as quick as we can. I've got lots of jobs, lots of videos coming up, so we need to push forward through them. Okay, well, we've done a bit of polishing on this one. She came up pretty good, actually. I've sealed the edges of the vinyl down. We've cleaned the vinyl. That's absolutely the best I can get it. Now, the stars in here, these are little stars, and they were gold. We've got a bit of a patch up here. I can't get that out. But the stars were gold. They are embossed into the vinyl. But, oh boy, I don't know. It's a bit like the Breville dial. I don't know whether I could do each star with a tiny drop of goldish nail polish. Not that I've got any on at the moment, but yeah, I don't know. I'd probably make a mess of it, so I might just I'll have a think about that. But anyway, the front's got to go on. Now that's the best I could do with that one too. Yes, it's a dent, but it's smooth now, and a little bit of a silver pen over the top. Come up reasonably well. It's pushed out, it's flat, and the one up here is flat now. So yeah, I'm gonna have to wear that. It's not 100%, as you can see. You get a bit closer, but from a distance, actually on the radio and looking at it, not through the camera, it's barely noticeable. So, but the camera makes it look a lot worse. Okay, let's get our felt, our protection material, which it's around here somewhere. I didn't wash it. I brushed it off both sides with a soft paintbrush, and it took the dirt out, no worries. So he's got to go in there first, Sorry, on this side. Yeah, it's got to go here, and then we mount this fella. Okay, so yeah, wish we could have done something with that. Now, which way up does this go? It has to go this way up. Okay, that's how it was. Let's put that together. There we go. That doesn't look too bad. It's pretty good. At least it's all flat. And yeah, you can still notice it, but well, there's not much else we can do. We can't recreate one of these. Okay, front's done. Now, we'll probably cruise along and put this back together now and start assembling this. And I'll get this assembled and, well, before I forget how it all goes back together, assemble it and yeah, then I'll be doing this. So when I come back, that'll be all together. You guys know how that was anyway. This only goes one way because of the screw holes. There we go, and we'll pop a little bit of oil in either end. Okay, in the bearings in there, and the back bearing up there, and this come up rather well. I'm pleased I took it out and cleaned it. It's a lot better than what it was. Righto, I'll be back. Okay, well, we got this little fella together. Okay, so just going to put a little dab of oil. I'll have it so that you guys can see it. Just a little bit in there. And yes, it's coming out this end, so that's okay. We'll clean that up. And that's running really smooth. Okay, same at the back end. There's a little ball there. For all you guys that don't know about these. And if you don't know about these, it's a great hobby. Get into it. Because there's all sorts of modifications we can do on these AM radios these days to, make them pick up other stuff. But we'll be going into that as we go along the track, including Bluetooth. So now you can see it's hitting our little capacitor there. Just move him away. God, I don't believe this. This dial cord just slipped back on. It goes around through that pulley, or across that pulley, around this pulley, back, and around to the spring. That's it. It's a very easy dial cord. And that's very pleasing for me. I can't believe that. It goes. So with the gang fully closed, if you're doing one, and I'll probably be doing more of these anyway, that's the position of, the set screw and the actual dial itself. Now, how did I know that? Well, yeah, when I took it apart, it wasn't in that position. But it does give you a bit of an inkling with the from the manual on the dial string. Now, this is not real clear. The PDF is a lot better than this. My printer's not real crash hot, but it's good enough to see where the spring is supposed to be with the gang fully closed, and that's what it says. So now we've got to put the pointers on and yeah, get them in position, and the job's done there. Like that's it. That's your whole dial assembly. This is a pretty neat setup. I have serviced these before. I have changed caps in these before. I have never ever pulled one apart like this to well, yeah, restore it, I suppose you'd call it, but just to neaten things up and get everything working properly. So I'm really pleased that I've learnt this string, because I do haven't told you this, but I do have another 4 of these in the workshop. They are different models to this. They are not, what's this one? Consort. They are not Consort. So we'll bring them out as time goes along. Okay, now we can put our dial pointers in through here and just clip our string on the back. So we'll do that next. And I'm doing this. I was going to start the caps, as I've said to you, going to do the caps, but I hate doing this bit, and I wanted to get it out of my hair. Okay, so that's why this is happening now. Now, here it says, and the pointers on the setting lines. Okay, the pointers on the setting lines, which is there and there. So if we look at the dial, we've got the setting lines, one there and one here. This is all one dial with 2 dial pointers. Okay, so it's only one tuning gang. So yeah, okay. It's the string's sort of got to go around the top of him. This hooks around the back ledge, I think. Yeah, these weren't on properly, by the way, when I pulled these apart. So let's put him through. We'll put him roughly in position, which is about there. Now, I see the back string runs on the back of it, and the front actually, how do we get the string? I'm going to have to get a little bit more light and some tweezers on this one. Get out a string around the front of him there. Okay, not going to play ball as easy as the first one. Oh, pretty close to the pointer, to our set mark. There we go. Beautiful. Okay, let's put the second one on. And I don't know what we keep, how we keep that on there. Maybe a daub of wax that has been there. I will probably put a very small, very tiny bit of Celastic just on top, just to hold so the string doesn't let go at any stage. That's what we're looking at there. So we go across there and under each side, okay, across the top of the pointer and then under the sides. That seems to be how it is. It doesn't actually say. Well, I better put it in the other way. Okay. And I move this fella. As you can see, pretty damn close. This fella, spot on. Okay, let's see if he runs okay. And a little bit awkward there. Sorry about the shaking around. That's a bit better. And there we go. That's at the end. So as long as it's, well, it says the set mark at this end, so it's got to be in the right position. Okay, we'll put him about the middle so I can get at him, and I'll get a little bit of Celestic, just a dob, and just put him just on top of the pointer itself. Now this pointer is slightly skewed. That would be right. Okay, I'll get my Celestic. I don't want to put anything very permanent. I want something that we can release the dial cord fairly easily, or pull it out of out from the unit itself quite easily. Okay, so I'll grab that. And I've changed my mind again. We're going to use super glue, a little bit of gel. Okay, so I'll just a dab of gel on there. There we go. And the same with this fella. There we go. That's it. Done. It's actually, if we wanted to, we can put this back in here. Now, the dial glass or perspex, we'll grab him, put him in, and we'll have a look at what I've done with it, and just make sure everything is nice and clean, scratch-free, everything. Righto. Well, here's the dial. Looks pretty good. A bit scuffed on the actual top of the ridge of it. So yeah, we're going to polish. And that's what I'm polishing it with. Good old Brasso. Okay, here we go. We'll make him nice and shiny, and yeah, make sure that everything works. I didn't need that much. Okay. Normally I don't rub that hard with Brasso. Just a little bit on a pad, and just rub for a while. Not extremely hard, certainly not hard enough to break the plastic. And I'm pretty sure this is going to come up very nice. Okay, other side. And I use, well, you've seen me use these, just makeup pads, cheap Woolies makeup pads. Does a good job. Yes, that's got rid of all the scuff marks, actually. That's good. Okay, I'll come back when I'm finished this. Okay, guys, let's put him together. Okay, got that knob on. He's not scraping. He's in the centre. Something's touching there. He's got to go in a little bit more. Okay. Lovely. But we can position this anyway when we're doing stuff. That looks good. I'm just wondering, is that knob the wrong way around? Does it go the other way with this shaft? I think it does. That doesn't look right. Yeah, I think it actually goes like this. I didn't think it did because it had to go on too far, but This is what happens when you get old and you forget how you took things apart. Oh, now the dial's fallen out. Okay, come on. Yeah, that definitely goes like that, and well, is obviously flush because that runs perfectly. Okay, now we've got to prop him up because the bubble of the glass wants to push this back. So we've got to screw him down here. Now, in under here was this fella, which was the clamp for the speaker. Now, the next thing to hold everything together here, which we'll do this before we recap. I wasn't going to, but let's do it anyway. The speaker. I'll just go and clean him up a little bit. He's only got to be dusted off. He's in very, very good order. There we go. EMI, Sydney, Australia. This is not EMI, America. Okay, so a few of you guys thought that his master's voice was actually, well, based in America, and these radios come from there. These are made in Sydney, Australia. Okay, there we go there. Manufactured in Sydney, Australia. So there we go. Okay, I'll clean him up and I'll be back. Okay, let's get our speaker in. Turn this fella around somehow. Lift him a bit, turn him around, and when we tighten this one here, he'll hold the speaker down on this side. No, I think it goes on top. I don't know how this is arranged. Let me have a look at the pictures. Well, guys, you're probably screaming at me. No, Baz, it goes at the other end. And yes, it does. I'm thinking, no, it goes near the tuner for RFN. But no, it sits on this here. So that's where she goes. Okay, we'll put this on. We also have a standoff here, which goes on that peg right down beside the tuner there. Okay, take this one off. And obviously this little block is for resting this on. We get it the right way up because this is one of the posts to hold the back on. Okay, there we go. Now we're getting there. I hope you're following me. If I get lost here, I'll need your help. Yeah, can't get that. Okay, let's do him up with a spanner. Right, there we go. Now on this end, right in there is our little post that this screws onto. And that's our other post that goes on the back. Okay. Okay, what are we going to do now, guys? How we're looking at the front. Everything seems right. Now, the time is 5:50. It's 10 minutes early for my wine, but after this turnout, I'm going for a wine. I'll catch us all in the morning, bright and early. Righto, guys. I've gone as far as I can with this without putting the board back in, and yeah, going from there. So, at last, we're going to do the capacitors. Now, I've also taken a picture of that little fella there, and I'll probably put him on one of my YouTube groups and see if anyone can reproduce this. I'll give it the exact size. I've got a pretty good picture of it, but it would be nice to get that reproduced. Okay, so for the radios that take the 276p battery, a lot of them have that little sticker in them. So, yeah, okay. All right, let's now, at last, get on with this thing. I'll do the electrodes and I'll come back and show you how I went. We'll measure them and then we'll measure the resistors and I'll let you know how I went. Right, well, that's all our capacitors done. Now, I did have a blue one to replace this fella, an old Phillips one, axial, and I did measure it before I put it in and it measured perfectly. So, yeah, I didn't have another radial to put in there. But saying that, I never had another 160 microfarad either. So I've replaced it with a 160 and it's a 16 volt cap. Okay, so done that one, this one. I found a little axial 22 here for this spot here, and another radial cap just in there. Okay, so now I'm going to go through and check all the resistors. I will also spray the pots, but let's check the resistors first, and then we'll come back and see what was crooked with the capacitors and the resistors. Okay, checked all the resistors, and all except one is in spec, but this one I'm not sure about. It's R18 here. It's a 4.7K, so it should read 4.7 at least, and it's reading 13. Okay, R18. Where is R19? Where is R18? Oh, I can't find it. R18. R18 is right there, off the detector. Okay, to the volume control. That's him. Now, it may not be crook. I'm going to lift it and we'll see if it's crook. It certainly doesn't seem real good. Okay. Yeah. I'll just try and lift him with my finger there if I can. There we go. Right. There we go, guys. He's up. So, what have we got? 4.7? 12. Wow. That resistor, like it's not a feed resistor for voltage or anything. It just comes off our detector diode to our volume control. And it's going up as it cools down because I heated it with the iron. So there you go. One resistor out of spec. Everything else measures very close. So no problems. All right, we'll replace that 4.7K. Now, guys, just before we finish up, as you know, we found out this is a Regency. It's not a Consort. Okay, so I'm going to put a couple of facts up on the screen now from Radio Museum, and you can have a read through these. As you can see, the Regency's first, it had a plastic case in the middle there. You can pause the video if you want to see that. And now we'll move on to the Consort. And if you read down to the case there, it's actually got leather. It's a leather case, which this isn't. This is a plastic case. So that's the differences. I don't know whether there was any other models. You guys might like to comment on that one, but I'm not real sure. One thing's for sure, this thing's going to be a really hot radio. So once we get the alignment done and get her out in the bush, boy, this is good. Now, as I promised you, the casualty list, I said we'd have a look at the caps and just see what sort of condition they were in. Okay, so well, the resistor, yes, it was a 4.7K. I've lost it. It's probably thrown in the bin. It was a 4.7K on one of the feeds. So yeah, that's that would have caused a bit of a problem, and it was the audio feed, strangely enough, from the detector diode to the volume control. May not have made a lot of difference, I don't know, but it was out of spec. Everything else was pretty good. Okay, now we've got here, we'll start with the 100 microfarad. And I just thought you may be interested in knowing what was what with this just before we finish this video up. Okay, we'll quickly do this one and let's have a look at him. And there he is, 210, and a loss of 4.2%, 1.1 ohm ESR. So yeah, not real healthy. Okay, let's go to the next one. And this is the one where the actual end has popped out of him. Be interesting. .29 picofarad. Okay. Not real good on that one. Not real good at all. I'd say it's open. Okay. The next one is just a smaller, but it's also a 100 mic. And we'll have a look at him. And 169, 7.3 loss and 1.7 ohm ESR. So yeah, once again, pretty sad. Certainly needed changing. So this is what you get when you just go through and change the lot. But it's interesting to see at the end of it, well, did they need changing? And I reckon they did. Okay, this is a, what's this one? This is a 160 mic, reading 225, 2.4 loss, 0.31 ohm ESR. So not bad on the ESR, but would be leaky at 160 mic. And the last one is this little fella. And what is he? He's a 25 mic. Okay, and let's just see what he measures. I thought that might have been my fault. 47, 9% loss, 6.3 ohms ESR. So yeah, shot. totally shot. It's a 25 mic, reading 47. So there you go, guys. That's all the caps we replaced. That's the 5 that were in it. And yeah, I just promised you I'd go through that and have a look. And yeah, certainly worthwhile changing. Okay, we'll come back to this. Next job, clean this pot, clean this one, and our tone control. And we're just about ready to mount the board back in, ready for an alignment. But first of all, we'll wire him up and make sure that everything still works after replacing everything. Okay, we've got our board sitting in our grommets. Now, how does all this go together? Okay, let's connect the speaker. There. There. Now we'll get our tone control, tone pot, if you want to call him a pot, and it goes down. Now, Baz, you better put the knob on. How about that? Won't get it on with it in there. Okay. Now, just where that knob sits, I'm not sure. We'll have to see. It's got to go on a little bit further than that. Getting very close there now. The next thing to go on, I guess, is our volume control, our pot. Now, that's a battery lead, which goes down there. And we put this volume knob on. Now, this is a little bit dirty around the corrugated edge on it. I'm just going to get a toothbrush and some isopropyl and go around it and just try and get the rubbish out of there. Okay, looks a little bit better. Now, this fella, flat to flat. Okay, and let's position this fella. Now, I'm guessing we just push these on, well, by what I've found here, flush. Just there, that's just flush. And I think that's in around about the right position. And there we go. Okay, well, let's see where he lines up. That's good. That's level. And that works very well. It could be pushed in just a fraction. There. And a little bit too far. There we go. Perfect. Okay. What now, guys? The rod antenna. I'm guessing. I think that would be next. There we go. Now we'll put a bit of glue or something on these when I'm finished to make sure this rod doesn't move out. Now where it's been, not quite central, so we'll just put him central there. Now this wire here goes to our aerial trimmer, which is right here, and yeah, they go onto the circuit board. We'll do that. These fellows here go to your car antenna on here. which is the inductive loop at the end here. And the other end here of the aerial rod goes to a ground point in here on our tuning gang. Now, I'll do all this. You sort of can't see this while I'm doing it. So I'll come back when all this is done. Right, guys, that's got the aerial in and connected up. Now, if the board sits up like this, we can work on it here. We can align our AFs, our oscillator coil, makes it quite easy, a quiescent current. But this lead that runs down to the oscillator trimmer and the oscillator gang is just too short. So when it's connected, that's as far up as I can get the board. And you can't work on this because most of these, well, nearly all of them, don't have access from the rear to align the transformers. So I'm going to, I know it'll adjust the oscillator, positioning and everything, which we're going to do anyway, but I'm going to put a little bit longer piece of wire, a brown wire, on here so that the board can come up and sit like so that when we're aligning it, well, at least we can do things here, not in there, which we just can't get to. Okay, so I'm just going to put, it only needs, 2 inches, which, yes, it will alter the tuning, the oscillator positioning. But as I said, we're doing that anyway. It's once it's aligned, it's not going to make hardly any difference. So, yeah, we'll just go ahead and do that. If it is a problem, well, we'll look into it down the track, but I'm pretty certain it won't be. Righto. Now, we've got 9 volts here on the power supply. We better check it out. Actually, I'll be using my little power supply that we, was a couple of videos ago that we repaired. Put a capacitor in it to stop the noise. And for this, we won't be using the newer switch mode power supply because of all the noise. Okay, I'll clean up this bench a bit. There's heaps getting around here. And let's see what we can do with it. And that's the supply I'll be using there, okay? Not this fella here. Righto, guys, let's see if she's going to work. Now, I've got the power supply on, positive, negative, just checking everything. Okay, so this is turned off. Power supply is now on and on. And it's making a noise. Yeah. She's making a noise. Okay. Let's see if we can get the local station. Let's see if I've done anything wrong.
It comes to bipartisanship because I'm just wasting my breath anyway. I mean, they don't want to listen.
There we go.
All they want to do what they want to, which is very unfortunate.
And if we go up the end, we should have the ABC.
It's as good as it should be.
Yeah. Nolan, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Go and take a time.
And, well,
post-COVID, I think.
That's working very well, as we knew it would. Now, show you something else in here. We have probably adjusted the tuning a little bit, but our local station is 2CR. And if we look up the top there, there you go. Now we're looking at this one here. 2CR is our local ABC.
How to read it or understand it.
She's not far off.
Yes.
Even though we extended the oscillator aerial, the oscillator cable.
Not just the top left.
That's going nice. And the other station here, I can never find it because
I had to read after I.
which is it may be not tracking right, which used to be called 2GZ, and it used to be 990, but now it's called 2EL, and now the frequency is 1089, and God knows how long it's going to be here for. So, yeah, there you go, guys.
Reason that he approved allowing that Hezbollah-related terrorists to put back in the country, so we have to cancel.
And that's certainly picking up quite well. A little bit doughy right up the top here. Something there. But we haven't aligned any of this yet. Let's see. I'll put him on the other power supply and see if we get any rubbish through. We may not. Okay, on. Not too bad.
Background and your own decisions as well, and I think that's the important thing to me here. Is
Yeah,
you start accusing people of stuff, and
as you can see,
you've also
it's
got
way out of RF tune, because when you touch the antenna and the signal increases, well, we're out of tune on the antenna trimmers.
I do have the news, which is just around the corner,
and that's certainly having a very large effect, as you can see. Okay, guys, this video's gone on long enough. I know I always say this, sorry about this, but next part 3, we're going to align it, and on the end of that video, we're taking this and our Phillips that was its partner for the little competition of who goes first. We're taking these to the bush and seeing which one performs the best. Okay, so that'll be in the next part. Also setting up our bias, which probably won't be very far out, but looking into that, how we do it, and everything. So that way you won't get bored with this video going on and on forever. It's gone on long enough. Okay, guys, if you really like it, give us a thumbs up. Subscribe if you can. Helps the channel no end. Hit the bell. You'll be notified when the next one of these goes up, and you can keep following me. All right. So until next time, the HMV, well, it's not a Consort anymore, is it? It's a Regency. So the HMV Regency J8 chassis will do the alignment, and that should come up. Well, this thing should perform brilliant. Okay. All right. Give us a thumbs up if you like it. Catch us next time. Bye.